Welcome to this look at a gorgeous new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here on VOUILLY Normandy. This is a brand spanking new mod map out by JM Gaming. 463.7 megabytes download, and I say that because normally I'm a day late, because if they drop mods and maps I'll do the mod reviews first, then move on to map tours, they're normally out the following day. There were no mods today on console, but they did drop this map, so I'm right on it. Jolly on the spot. So, there are no custom crops. There are contracts available. There are 195 fields. 94 of those have missions on, it says. The map looks like this. On New Farmer, we start with a farm area here and the 3 fields around it. Field prices vary wildly, I guess, really, from sort of 70, got a little plot there for 51, and then some of the larger plots up in the 400-500s. We've got some forestry areas, not many. How many did it say? I think it's 5. There's 5 wooded plots if you want to do forestry. There's no sawmill on the map. There's no biogas plant on the map. That being said, if you want to place any of those things, we do have placeables areas scattered around the map. We've got one there, there's one there. We've got another one, I think, out here somewhere. We've got one here. There's plenty of places for building, expanding, making your own farms, that kind of thing. I think here as well and here too, so that shouldn't be a problem. What is interesting is these plots. That one there is 12,465,000. This little plot here was 1,800,000. That's 3,900,000. These are all the ones that have got facilities on them, so it pushes the price right up 3,360,000. So rather than having verges or periphery of the map, you can buy these plots of land that already have sell points on them. So if you wanted to add more sell points or productions, you can, but they're not cheap to do that. Just something to be aware of. That one's 2.7 million. And other than that, yeah, it's not too bad. We can talk about, we'll talk about slot count when we get to the main farm. This is, I have to say, the map itself is a really pretty map. The way it's laid out, the landscape, the way it rolls, and the rivers and it is a fantastic looking map. What I am going to say though, it does have one drawback. I mean, from my own personal opinion, if I just stop talking. Those animal sounds are constant and everywhere on the map. If you turn down the effect sounds, then you lose the sound effects to other things. It does also mention you can get flocks of birds flying around, which I have kind of noticed around the main village, and that's where we start. We start here at the main village. If I just hop the fence here, we've got the VOUILLY market just here. Sell points for regular stuff, and I think sell points for your palleted items. It does also mention, it says, a mushrooms collection. You will find your harvest on sale on the VOUILLY market. I think that's the collectibles. It does say there are 10 collectibles. I haven't found one anywhere, and there's no production for mushrooms or anything like that, and there's no crops for planting. Like I said, there's no there are no custom crops on here. There's one, did I say there's one required mod? I'm all out of sync. There's one required mod that's also by JM Gaming. It's the fruits production that downloads automatically. We're going to build mode. The only things over and above that fruits production in the build mode are under decoration and fences. I wrote the wrong thing down. Decoration and fences, and we've got all of these. So there's a load of walls and things in there, and then under landscaping and painting, we've got quite a few ground textures, paint textures to be playing around with should you want to do some landscaping, tweaking, adjusting of whatever's on the map, which is very nice indeed. So that's all of that. Like I said, we'll talk about slot count later on. We'll talk about rivers, animal noises. Yeah, let's crack on. If we just cross the road here, we have got the main vehicle shop and workshop trigger just here. This is the reset point in the map. I'm going to reset one of our start vehicles. The start vehicles you only get on New Farmer. Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you don't start with anything. There's no sleep trigger, there's no vehicles and equipment, nothing at all. So it is a complete kind of start from scratch. So I'm just going to reset that vehicle now. and then we will carry on. I've also taken the liberty of adding money. I've just borrowed some from the bank just for the couple of productions that need to be purchased. So what I'm also going to say is we come back to the map. I'm going to show you, I might try and overlay it actually, what I did off camera. I went round the map and I bought up every single plot on this map that wasn't a field with a crop in it. So all the fields that are just grass fields or open fields, I was checking for pastures, animal pastures. I was checking for stuff to do with the fruit production, because it mentions orchards. I thought, okay, I don't want to miss any plots with orchards. This is what it looked like, and all the plots I bought up, I can pretty much safely say we're good. So yeah, that's that's the extent I go to on map. You have to when you're doing map tours. You know, I don't want to miss anything, or at least miss anything obvious. So from here, we're just going to go back into the village a little bit, because just behind where we started, I love it. Is it Boule? Is it called Boule? I think it is. There might be a French, a more French name for it. I will say this as well. The traffic is very French. It's incredibly rapid along the main roads, so you just have to take care when you're pulling out into traffic. But behind here, we've got a gas station just there, and we've got a, what it says purchase of fuel, but that's where you can sell fuel. So if you want to sell fuel, you can sell fuel just there. So what we're going to do is head out of the village, out towards the animal dealer. The animal dealer, like I said, it's an interesting one because there's nothing else on it other than the animal dealer. But the plot itself to buy was 12 million. So I kept clicking on it. It kept saying you don't have enough funds, and my brain wasn't computing. I kept thinking it makes no sense, because on my practice, my run around to make my notes, I'd put in a load of money using the government subsidy signs so I could buy up all the plots and check everything. And I had about 11 million. I thought, I don't understand. And when I actually looked at it and thought, okay, that says 12 million. That's a bit bonkers. Now, we have got this plot here as well. It mentions a quarry, and as far as I can make out, this is it. What I'm going to say, I'm playing on PS5. No shortage of computing power. This doesn't happen very often, but I had lag like you would not believe when I got to this point here. I don't know if it's going to do it again. I hope not. Well, it's not. That's good. It was awful. So we're at this little plot here. This is Carrière. It's plot 213, so we've come along this road here, and we're at this little plot here, 213. I think you can probably pick them up anyway. The plot itself is 54,628. There's nothing that comes up on here, and there's no small rock or anything, but you've got these massive boulders, and these huge boulders have, look bottom right, they're showing us big bags, but that's 1,600 litres of stones. That one's 1,000. Are they 1,600? No, 1,200, 1,200. So you can come down here, and using whatever equipment and machinery you want, you can remove these boulders, load them up onto lorries, and take them off if you want to turn them into lime or just sell them. There is a sell point for these as well. So this is, I mean, technically, it's a quarry. And what you can do, if you wanted to, off camera, when you're setting this up, you could come down here, fill this all up with stones as well if you wanted to. Or lime, or both, or it's up to you. There are so many mods now available in the mods hub. The gold and precious gems ones that you can use, pay dirts and sands and gravels, and there's the concrete factory. So you could really go absolutely ham on a quarry if you wanted to. I'm so glad that didn't go laggy. I don't know what happened when I came on it before, but it was terrible. So I'm going to come out of here and onto this little road. We'll head down to the animal dealer, just so you can see where it is, and I'll do what I always do. I'll show you where we're on the map. Oh, the other thing to point out now, I don't know if it will do it for the walls, but it definitely says it definitely says fences, and I don't think you have to own the land either. If you go into build mode, go to demolish, we should be able to. There we go. I don't own the land, but if the fences are annoying you, or you want a gap somewhere for a shortcut, or to put in a gateway, or just to give yourself space to get vehicles and machinery in, you have got the ability to remove fencing and walls around the map at will. Just go for it. Now, every single map tour I pull out in front of traffic, and to be fair, this isn't the fastest machine, and the speed of the traffic along these main roads, I'm likely to again. Not far down here, So like I said, I did buy this in the end off camera, just to double check. I had to make sure there wasn't any other triggers or anything on here. But if you do want to use the land and put sell points and stuff on, there's no sell point for bales or anything like that. What I'm going to say, this is the other, I'm not going to say it's clunky, it's not. I think the scale of this is off. Anyway, animal dealer point is just here. If you look at this barn, you can see the horses in there, and I thought, oh, that's cool, Shire horses or something, because they seemed very big. But if you come up along here, if you look at the size and the scale of the wall and the windows and the doors, I think it might have been scaled up a little bit too much, because when you get to here, those horses look absolutely huge. I mean, they may well be Shire horses, but I don't know if it's just off maybe a little bit. We have got an exercise area for horses, so if you're going to put some animal pens and pastures in and you want to do your own stables, you absolutely can. So, hop in. Onward from here. Like I say, it's you'll see as we drive around the map. I mean, that little bit, and you know, you can tune out the bird noise and stuff. I know on some maps you get it when you go through forested areas. Some maps you've got different sounds. It does mention it is customised for precision farming as well. It does say. Where are we? You'll be able to hear many original sounds, animals, rivers, forests. Like I say, I've just got that overriding. It just seems to be everywhere. Probably the problem is now, because I've mentioned it, that's what you're going to tune your ear to. But you'll see now as we go over here, the sweep of the landscape, and it's just, this was another one of those ones. As I was going round, every brow of a hill, every corner, every bend in the river was like, wow, that'd make an awesome thumbnail. Almost, you know, that'll make an awesome thumb. There's little stone bridges everywhere. It's a fantastically laid out map. I like the off camber and on camber turns on the hills and slopes, and oh, it's great. So we're going to turn in just here. Tell me about traffic. It don't hang about. So we come to here, and we've got a lime station just there, and then we've got manor stones, and you can see some more rocks here. So those stones up at that quarry you can bring here and sell them. But there's also a whole load here just sort of laying around. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't think you're going to have to buy the land to pick them up, but they're not actually showing anything. I think these ones did though. This again, you can buy the land, but it is quite expensive. Yeah, that's 2,500. I mean, you're going to need something pretty hefty to shift these. And on the wall, I'm sure it says construction company purchase of stone, something like that, I think. There's something along those lines. But if we come back to the map, so from there down to here, animal dealer, back onto that crossroads and down here. So like I say, this plot of land 210 is 7,330,000. I mean, if you want to. The other thing as well, I noticed in two locations, it's not showing like an icon there, but there's a point there that looks like a water droplet. There's also one here. I'm assuming, you'll see when we drive past it, that it's they're water points, or at least access points to the water. I'm just trying to look if it says anywhere whether you can take water from the rivers. I mean, it doesn't matter if you can't. Like I've said countless times on map tours, there are so many mods available for water points. Yeah, there's a little track that runs right down there to the water. I will make that assumption, but maybe not. So what we're going to do now is head to the start farm. Oh, there are ducks. Oh, that's what I was going to say as well. The river. Come down to the river. It does say there are plants that are alive in there. There are fish that gradually kind of swim along, different sizes, and we have got some little ducks. The ducks, I'd say the ducks do look a little bit like decoys. Where are they? But at the end of the day, they're still there. They're making duck sounds. They're doing what ducks do. I've lost my dog here. It looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, as we sweep over, little forest area to our right, what we're going to get to in a moment, we come up on the start farm. Now the buildings here aren't removable, so there is a farmhouse and there are two sheds. The farmhouse has a sleep trigger on new farmer. On farm manager and start from scratch it doesn't. The building is still there, but it doesn't have the sleep trigger anymore. Like I said, you can't remove the buildings, so the two sheds and the house as well are still here. This just doesn't quite have the oomph. I should have probably just picked up a pickup. So another placeable point just there, here at the main farm. I say main farm, it's the only farm, what we're talking about. Just there, sleep trigger's just there. We sweep round here. That's not a pasture, it's just a field, fenced in. If we swing around here, again I suppose plenty of space. It's one of those maps that I think the landscape is cool enough, like the map itself is phenomenal. It's not littered with tons and tons of stuff, but it's been done in such a way, not a pioneering map, but it gives you so much scope. It's not a flat land map like No Man's Land, but there's so much scope to make it your own. I like that blend of the two. You can come in and just farm, you don't have to do anything, but there's so much room for productions, for factories, for whatever it is you want to do, building your own farms. But everything is here to get cracking. So this is our start equipment and machinery. We do start with 2 seed pallets as well. So we go. Various different items here. Slot count then on new farmer is 1,346, and on farm management start from scratch is 1,223. The John Deere that we reset back to the vehicle shop was parked right there. That's where you'll find it if you don't reset it. That's all the start equipment. Not a huge amount of stuff, but enough to get you going. Now on farm management start from scratch, when you come onto here, it will look like this. Onwards! So, we're going to sweep across the map, heading west, and then we're going to come down the map, and we'll get to all the locations. And again, I hope, I don't know what it is of late, I think as we're getting closer and closer to FS25 releasing, and people seem to be very much of the opinion that FS22 is done now. We did a live stream the other day, myself and MrSealyp, talking about all sorts of stuff. It's a new sort of podcasty type thing I might be doing more of, called Real Talk, where we just talk about the game. We'll talk about anything really, but the game, farming simulator in general, 25, whatever it might be. And people were saying that, do you think there'll be many more mods, do you think there'll be many more maps? And I said, to be fair, in the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, we've had a ton of stuff. Maps are still coming out. I don't want people to miss things like this, because this map is it's a cracking map. It's like I say, the landscape is incredible, and as you're going around, you're thinking it's not going to be straightforward either. It's going to be a challenging map to play on. And I do map tours, always have done map tours, to show people, to showcase these maps and say, look, I don't want people to miss out on them, especially when I go around a map tour thinking, wow, this is amazing. If something really, really kind of captures my imagination, I just want everybody to see it, you know. So we're coming up on Heronnery, I think it's Heronnery Market, so this is another sell point just here. And again, it's an expensive plot to buy if you want to add more to it, but it is just a sell point as it stands. I'm going to come back along to here and take the next right, which we just came past. Should be coming up on T-junction, there we go. I'm just also, when I'm doing map tours now, I'm imagining, you know, I think a lot of maps, it depends on the way the lighting's done, and you've got the early morning, sort of, some of them have a sort of misty feel to them already. I'm just imagining a lot of these maps on 25 with all the extra lighting, all the extra effects, all the more detail, because I think as well the thing that we're talking about at FarmCon was your distance views won't, you know, at the moment you've got the is it occlusion mapping, so as you turn corners and stuff, things appear, and close in things look really detailed, but in the distance they don't so much. I think that's going to be a big thing as well. 25, that's going to change, but also adding in all those extra lighting effects and the mist and fog, and you know, I can't imagine what maps like this, or you know, any of the maps I've done map tours on, are going to be like. So we're going to sweep around now, heading west, and we're going to head to the next sell point. The next sell point is listed as King's Pond Market. So I mean about all the little stone bridges and crossings. There's a placeables point just over there. So no shortage of areas for whatever it might be. I like all the little lily pads and bulrushes and stuff in the water, in the river. Reeds and yeah, just has a nice flowing feel to it. So King's Pond Market, sell point is just here. Looks like a little pub sort of thing as well, maybe. Also love maps that have buildings or facilities that have smoke coming out of them, out the chimneys. It's a tiny thing, but again, for that immersion, when you're driving past, you look across the map and you just get that sense that someone's living there, you know, that it's a place that something is happening. I know it sounds cheesy, but all those things all come together to improve an experience. So coming up on our left, we're actually going to turn in there now anyway. This is the VOUILLY Fruits Cooperative. So this is the required mod. Again, the land is quite expensive, but we can buy the production fairly inexpensively, I guess. Yeah, it's not too bad at all, actually. So, we purchase this, 120 grand, and do that. With all of these items here. Like I say, this was a mod in its own right. So you can get some of the mod hub as it is, but part of the map, so all things like this, apple pies and fruit juices and jellies, jams, apple chips, apple butter. And all these things we will find it's interesting, the orchards for these. We'll see when we get around there, because I think in the mod hub it's down, or in the packs or the fruits production required mod, they're down as exotic orchards, but I think on the map it says apples, which is a bit, it kind of throws you a little bit, because I thought, oh, that's weird, I wonder where the rest are, but they are the exotic fruits orchards. Another placeables point just there, and now we are running across the bottom of the map, heading east again. See what we'll do, let's just go from there to there. So from there we went across to the farm, then we went up along there to Heronery Market, then we came down, where was the turning, this turning here, then swept all the way around there, round to the bottom to King's Pond, across there, and now we're heading across the bottom of the map here. We're going to sweep around this countryside here, down into another valley. Like I say, yeah, it's great. If I haven't mentioned that. I know it annoys people when I keep repeating myself, but I'll stop talking. Can I talk again? Sorry. Right, we're turning here. Coming up on our left, we've got the Monastery of Castile. This also has a dairy, so you've got the dairy of the Monastery of Castile, and it's also got orchards on it as well. Now, you don't have to own the land. Actually, you can't buy the land that the monastery itself is on, but you can buy the land around it. Swing around. So, dairies here. This is just butter and cheese, not chocolate. As you can see just there. Come back to the map and I'll show you where we are. So we've swept along there and then come up this turning. So these are already on the map, but as you can see, this plot we can't purchase. The plot that the actual... It's interesting because it's got some plots on it with things growing, but you can't actually do anything because you can't buy the land to operate them's the wrong word, but you don't need to buy the land to use the orchards. The orchards are there, but what I love is you come around the back, it's got a like monastery garden, and obviously you can remove these and add more in if you want to. They are under build mode to put in if you want to, but we hop over just here and there are 4. They are numbered, and you'll see when I click on it, it says apple trees number 3. So I think we go 1 2 3 4. This is 1 2 3 4, whichever way around it was, doesn't matter. 10,000. Click on that and then you'll see all of the various different fruits, including apples, that we can do here. So don't be thrown off by the fact it says apple trees. It does everything, and all those then can be taken up there if you want to, or just sold. You can just produce them here and sell them as they are. You don't have to produce anything else from them. And then we just go into the grounds here. There's nothing in particular. I just love the... It's got that old monastery feel to it, I suppose. The stained glass windows do that, but the design, and around here, like I said, you've got this little plot here. It's got stuff growing. You don't own it, you can't buy it, which is a pity, because once that kind of withers and dies, well, it depends what your own seasons or not, you can't then do anything with that. But at least it's here. And again, more grounds at the back. Oh, that's a good point actually. I don't think you can't purchase this bit of land, so you can't do anything with these. But the grounds next to it, you could if you wanted to, if you want to put more on. To be honest with you, I think 4 of those would be absolutely fine. But if you want to put more elsewhere, again, go for it. Why not? Let's hop back in the old John Deere. And carry on handsomely. Or in my case, just carry on. My aunt used to have one of those, the old 2CVs. She loved it. Very peculiar vehicle. Always remember going out with her in it and it just wallowing as you turn corners. It just, you always get that feeling it was going to roll over, but brilliant. I mean, very cool cars actually. Had one that the whole roof opened up. It was just fantastic. But anyway, coming up on our left, the next point we have got the sell point, Watermill Market. Which is just to our left there. And then we've got the VOUILLY Water Mill, which is just here. Again, another location I stopped and thought, oh man, this will make an awesome picture. Click on here. And this is your grain mill. So, first items in, fairly standard for a grain mill, with flour coming out. So I came over here and stopped and thought, oh, look at that. Is that not just... You could just sit and have a picnic. Just listen to that. Don't get me wrong, the custom sound effects as you go around the map, they're brilliant. They all match up. The ducks, where the ducks are, and the fish making fish noises. And this is the other water point I was saying about. So you've got this bit here. So again, try it. Don't try it. Doesn't matter. You can add the water point in wherever you like. And from there, if we follow this road along, it'll bring us back round to the Manor Stone, where we came down in the first place from the animal dealer. And we've been around the map. There are no animal pens, like I said, there's no sawmill, there's no biogas plant. If you want to add them in, you absolutely can. I think it has got enough that you can absolutely make this your own and just go with it. You don't need to do a ton of landscaping, you don't need to change the landscape, but you've got enough points around the map to add things in, to personalise it. But then again, this may not be your cup of tea at all. You might look at the map and think, oh, I don't like maps that are that hilly, or the roads, or wherever it might be. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just showing you what it is. what it looks like, and the decision after that is entirely up to you. So there we go. That's VOUILLY Normandy by JM Gaming. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.